As a network administrator, you may possibly be prone to having to deploy DHCP servers. There appears to be various ways that you can be in a position to deploy DHCP servers, and in this example, we're going to go over standing up a DHCP server. In Windows Server 2012, Cisco router, and Ubuntu 18.04 server.
Okay, so in this lab here, we're going to go through 3 different variations. Whether you set a DHCP server up in Windows Server, to a Cisco router, and then also a additional server, which is a Linux Ubuntu server. It's an 18.04. So we're going to go through the 3 different types of servers that you are prone to come into as a network engineer if you have to host services. So we're going to go ahead and start with Windows Server. So if you're not familiarized with Windows Server, I already deployed the DHCP server, but in our class, we will go over specific guidelines of how to deploy a domain controller, Active Directory, LDAP, Kerberos, you name it. We will go into a little bit of details of how to get things going and making sure you can be able to have the Windows Server talk to the network. So in particular for this here, for this DHCP server, usually you want to have this if you already have an existing domain controller. And our next example for the Cisco router is if you're not on a domain controller, but even though with this here, we can still be able to run a DHCP server. So let's go ahead, we're going to go into DHCP management. And what we're going to create is we're going to create an IPv4 scope. And we're going to right click, new scope. And we are going to hit next, and we're going to just type this in as Windows DHCP. And then our IP space is right here, this 192.168.10.0/24. So we're going to do 192. 192. Uh-oh. 168.10.1, 192.168.10.250, 254, 92.168, 10. And we'll just free these up here just in case. As a network administrator, if you want to have some exclusions, certainly the gateway is right here. We're going to have that covered. And we'll do 8 days, just the, and then the router default gateway. In this example here, for all of our routers, our last usable IP address is our default gateway. So we'll go ahead and hit next. We don't have to worry about DNS. Yes, let's go ahead and get this going. So as you can see here, it is active. Now, we're going to go ahead and go to this PC here. We're going to do a command to do IP DHCP. And this is pulling from this PC. Now we can do a show IP DHCP. Oops, show IP, I'm sorry. And there we go. So this is telling us our server here. We didn't set a DNS, our DHCP lease, our MAC address, everything that you can see here. Now, if we go back here, you can see the address lease for that PC is right here. All right, next up is a Cisco router. Cisco router, like I said, if you're working in a network where you just want to have your DHCP server sit on the access router of your network, it is easy to manage. But when you're working in a Windows environment with the domain controller, it's actually a lot easier to work with a DHCP server on the Windows. So for this here, we're going to go ahead and do a config T IP DHCP pool, and we're going to do data network 192.168. Let's verify this network here, .11.0, and then this is a /24. And then DNS server, let's just do 8.8.8. Domain name, test.dhcp.com. Default router is 192.168.11.254. So what this is telling my DHCP or my router is when someone requests a DHCP address, it's going to say, well, I'm looking for this default router as my way to be able to tell my clients, hey, I'm the one that you need to look for when it does the DORA, the discover offer, request, and acknowledge. So let's go ahead and do IP DHCP. And there we have it. So there's our domain name. There's our DNS that we set for Google, and everything goes as far as according. So now we can go check real quick. So if you wanted to be able to see what DHCP bindings you had, there you go. All right, last one here is a Linux DHCP Ubuntu server. Now we had to install this. This didn't come bare metal with the Ubuntu server. So if you're not familiar with Linux and you are getting into networking, it is crucial to understand Linux, because in a lot of operating systems, whether you're using Red Hat, Ubuntu, or some type of Linux server flavored language, you want to be able to have a well-versed understanding of command line interface, because a lot of times applications will use Linux servers, web-based servers, but using Windows desktop environments. So for this here, what we're going to do, I already pre-configured this, but kind of want to show you around a little bit and understanding. So we are going to be configuring here this configuration. Now, if we did have IPv6, we would be using this, but for this demonstration in this example here, we're going to do DHCP IPv4. So we're going to go ahead and do nano. Now, this, depending on your flavor, doesn't matter if you use Vim, nano, just so you have some type of editor that you have. So we're going to go ahead and go down the list here. As you can see, I already made a global configuration, and that's a great thing about Linux, is that a lot of the stuff is already script based. So we're going to change just to one so you can see it reflect. Another important piece here is the interface. So if you have multiple interfaces, even though on this one here only had one interface, so it'll default to what I have, but just for sake of, just make sure you put this on here if you do have issues. Now, what I do want to show you though is the great thing about Linux and the logs. So we're going to make a mistake here. We're going to exit out, and we are going to go ahead and restart this. We're going to start, and then we're going to do status, and you're going to see why. So right now is this showing that it has failed, and now we're going to do a journal ctl-xe, and it's going to show us exactly where the error is at. So as you can see here, it's telling me you need to fix this. So we're going to go back in and fix that line. So domain. And so when you do fat finger stuff, you can, at least with Linux, you have a log to go back to tell you what you messed up on. Now, if we do a restart, and then we go back to status, there it is, and it's running. So now we can go ahead and do a IP DHCP, and there we go. Now test your network out. So we have a DMVPN over OSPF here. Show DMVPN. So this is acting as a hub, and everything else is a spoke. So let's go to this PC here, and we're going to ping 192.168.168.10.1. It's going to take it for a minute to acquire because of the ARP. There it goes. And we are able to hit from this PC here to that PC over there. And if you do a trace route, and you'll be able to see how it travels. Oh, trace.
Thank you for tuning into this video here, and if you enjoyed the content, come check out our website at itmentor.live and learn more about our 6-module course that covers IT fundamentals of network, cybersecurity, and information services.